Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to another video by the Pokemonster, and today something different than a Pokemon card mail day. What you see in front of you is a display containing the decks of all 4 winners of the 2022 London World Championships of the Pokemon TCG. Now everybody can tell this display is not sealed anymore. Let me give you a little bit of backstory and history of this entire display. So it contains 8 decks with 2 copies of 4 different decks of the winners of the World Championships, or at least high-ranking teams, or players rather for that matter, in their respective age category or league. So we opened before a long time ago on the channel the Andre Scubal deck, who was the winner of the Masters divisions, which I consider to be the true winner of the World Championships. Secondly, a video that is doing really well on my channel is the Mew VMAX deck opening of Andre Chasson, the Shape of Mew. We actually have a copy here left. As you can see, the Shape of Mew, Andre Chasson with Mew VMAX. Here is the Andre Scubal one, the ADP, Arceus, Flying Pikachu, and the Decidueye, V-Star I believe. Now this is one of my favorites, and I got the guy's signature on a Radiant Steelix, which is also a very YouTube short on the channel. It's very old already. I got the signature before this deck was officially released. But as you can see, I have 4 decks still sealed. And what is the backstory of this display? Initially in 2022 or maybe 2023, I can't remember, but the earliest time possible, I purchased 2 sealed decks of these, 2 sealed displays rather, of these London World Championships decks. When they arrived, one was entirely damaged, one of the 2 displays. So I asked a little bit of discount from the guy. I got it for 90 bucks minus 15 bucks or so. So I got it for 75 bucks, 8 decks, that is less than 10 bucks a deck. My idea was, okay, I can't sell some of these boxes sealed anymore. The Andre Scubal and Andre Chasson decks were totally damaged. This is the least damaged one. And then we have the Cheryl again from Sebastian Lashmet that is not even damaged, but I wanted to open eventually of every deck 1 copy. The plan was, because I paid so little for it and I had to open it anyways, let's break it open further. Let's really see what's inside these team decks. They're supposed to be really good since they're from high-ranking players from that year and that tournament, the World Championship. There are proxy cards in here, so they're not tournament legal ever, but they're really cool collectible cards, and you can obviously play them with your buddies. Now, I was a bit of a competitive player myself back then. I didn't go to real life tournaments, but I played a lot of the Pokemon TCG online engine at that moment. I have some pictures floating around on the channel somewhere that I was ranked 3rd or 5th of Europe, and then of the 1st of the Netherlands for a couple weeks in a row. I was very proud of that. I had nothing to do while the pandemic was going on. I was sitting at home and I was really intrigued by the Pokemon trading card game. So what is the plan now? I think we're gonna open the Cheryl again deck today. I want to sell some single cards because some of these cards are getting really valuable. Well, what is valuable? I paid less than 10 bucks a piece for each sealed deck, and I want to open it up, sell the singles, take a look at the singles with you, and bring up some good old memories from that time, because the Rapid Strike Urshifu I played a lot against. But the first mission is to get more than 10 bucks a deck by selling the singles, and if it is possible I want to make a little bit more than 10 bucks a deck even. Because what is going on, I already purchased now a sealed display of the World Championships 2023 decks of Yokohama, which was held in Japan. This was the closest to my home that the tournament has ever been since I can remember at least. And then we move away to Japan, which is probably one of the furthest ones. Maybe the one in Anaheim was further, or Hawaii, I don't know. So the first mission of today's video is find more than 10 bucks in value in one of these decks in order to fund the purchase of my new Yokohama sealed deck display. Now let's get the camera a little bit closer and dive straight into it. So let's have a look at the back side. The Cheryl again deck was a really annoying deck. You could do really powerful attacks with the Rapid Strike Urshifu. Let's see what it all used. So we have the Rapid Strike, obviously all the Rapid Strike Inteleons in there, the Shady Dealings for searching cards, and the Quick Shooting for hitting bench At least that is what I remember, and with Sobble you could get more Sobbles into play. The Medicham fee was relentless as well, if I remember correctly. You could take an extra prize if you knocked out a Pokemon, something like that, or you could have 2 turns rather. So you have the Irida for searching a supporter, you have Boss's Order for switching or gusting rather, and then you have the Cheryl, which was a main part of this deck. If you had the Urshifu in play, it got damaged, you could Cheryl it up and it was all healed again. So you had the Scoop Up Net to do multiple attacks with Inteleon by just keep evolving a new Drizzle. Capture options open really nicely, and you have the Evo Incense, I see. Alright, so this is a really cool deck. Someone not too long ago purchased some of my what I consider bulk cards of my previous decks that I opened, the Chasson and the Scubal deck. And the most valuable cards will obviously be the Rapid Strike Urshifu and Urshifu Fee. Pulpad was very popular back then. Yeah, 1 Ultra Ball only, so that's a bit of a bummer. We have Marnie and Cheryl that might be a little bit collectible, just like Irida. Alright, let's dive into it. Have you ever considered purchasing one of these decks, folks? And have you ever opened one? And have you watched the London World Championships yourself? Hit me up in the comments, let me know, and we could talk about it. And what I do usually is cut out this Pikachu, for example. Obviously after I have opened it, and I'm cutting out this logo. As you can see on the screen here right now, and if someone purchases one of those playable cards from me, I will put a piece of tape over this, and this will be serving as the protection for the card to when I ship it out. And it's just a nice little gimmick from the World Championships of 2022, right? You can make the packaging a little bit more attractive that way. So usually I open these up from the top, let's open it from the bottom now. And yeah, I have to do that partially off camera. I want to keep the package as nice as possible. And besides that, obviously the most important is that the cards don't get damaged. Alright, really nice packaging, really nice memories, back to the previous ones that we have opened on the channel. Let me get this out of the way first. Let's take a look at this booklet that I am, I think, keeping in reverse mode there, and let's turn it around. Alright. So yeah, this was really cool. It was in London. We have all these nice little posters up there, the graffiti on the walls, I believe, or the wall posters. Just going over this one quickly, guys, not too fast. Shout out Netherlands. But I think every country is represented here. And this was not one of the best participated World Championships, unfortunately, because of the period that we were in, if you can remember it, if you were around. So we have talked about these before. Oh, Masters, Andres Cabal, cool dude. I've been able to talk to him a little bit. But that is already a long time ago as well. There we have Ishihara, I believe. Really cool that he was there as well. Some fans and probably now really expensive Pokemon cards, I'm not sure. Some Pokemon trainers, I think it is Bo, right? Bo was a very prominent character. It was a gym trainer, gym leader in Sword and Shield. Senior, so this is the deck that we're going to open today, the Senior Sebastian Lashmet. I think that is how it is pronounced, from the USA. Some other cool pictures from that venue of that year, awesome. I thought Pikachu with this hat was already really cool as well, really cool outfit. So there we have Scubal with the ADP Flying Pikachu deck, and then we have Daishi Shimada, which also had the Arceus V-Star. Just a little bit different build. I believe one of the two had the Jolteon. I think it was the Daichi Shimada deck. And a lot of people from this division, as you can see, played the Arceus V-Star Flying Pikachu. It was one of my favorite decks as well. Okay, so let's move into the deck now finally. Sorry folks. I know we're already this far in video, but I put some time stamps up there so you can skip through the part that you really want to see. And leave a like on the video if you like this kind of content. Okay, so I have a really cool playmat. I have shown all this before for the other decks, so this one might be a little bit different since it's a little bit different deck. Pikachu, London, always great. I'm not using these anymore. I don't play the game anymore. Unfortunately, I might occasionally do so casually. That's on the new engine, Pokemon TCG Live, and I don't need these, so I will probably try to sell them for 50 cents to $1 each. There are always clubs and competitions that might want this. So I don't know, and I want to cover up the code card a little bit, so... Alrighty, having the code card out of the way, let's dive straight into it. So we have our first two cards. which will be one of the, or two of the most expensive cards of this entire deck, I believe. So let's take that further. Okay, everything else falls out, no problem. I'm not a professional pack opener, if you have not noticed yet, so... But I will make sure these cards don't get damaged. And I have not seen this background before. So that's really cool. We have the Skubal deck here with yellow background, and then we have the pink, purple background up there for the new deck that we opened, the Lashmet deck. And then the Shape of Mew has an entirely pink or purple background. So what do we have here? It is the Urshifu VMAX. It was a promotional card in the front of the box, and I think we get 4 copies or at least 3 copies of this card. I always look at the centering first, and the centering is terrible of these cards, just like any other copy of any other deck that I had before. The Skubal ones and the Mews were all so terribly centered. There's barely an edge here on the left side of the card. But it's fine to me. I will just consider this to be near mint as possible, right? Once you start to see damage on the card, you could consider it to be excellent condition, which will be the equivalent of light plate. But these are not damaged, so it is a little bit off center, as you can see, or terribly off center. The backside is not that bad. So yeah, it will be a nice near mint proxy or promo. I think it is a promo, and it is not tournament legal. It should be up somewhere. I don't think they have put that on this card, that it is not tournament legal, but you can see the little signature up here, which is really cool. I think that combined with the background of the card, the backside of the card, is why people collect these cards. I have a copy of the Flying Pikachu of Celebrations with Skubal signature, obviously from the deck. That one is not a real signature, but I want to keep that card forever. I have kept one of the pins. I have one sealed deck of the Skubal already sealed in my collection that I purchased prior to the displays. And I think you can see that I really love rambling about these products, folks. It brings back some good memories for me, at least, as we are taking a look here, a close look at the pin. So I figure all these pins will be the same, and there are a lot of pin collectors. I have an entire small bucket filled with pins and figures and coins. Try to wrap it up perfectly so that it don't get scratched when I'm shaking around the little bucket, but I don't know, maybe it is time to take a look at it once and record it all and then put half of it up for sale because the bucket is starting to get a little bit full, and I rather spend that money back into the Pokemon cards that I am truly collecting. But this is a really generally really nice pin, heavy, nice condition if someone is interested. Official pin, made in China though, I think. Pokemon, well, it is great. So let's move into the coin instead of the cards first. So we have a really cool London Pikachu coin. I sold one of these coins, I had 2 decks opened at least, for about $3 or something. But let's go over it first, how it looks. It is a great coin. Are you collecting anything else than Pokemon cards? Are you collecting these kind of coins? Let me know in the comments down below, I'm really curious. I think it is cool. I just really enjoy the card collecting. I don't have money for everything. You can only spend the money once, right? So let's open up the deck box, which is really cool in itself as well. I thought on Card Market is going for $1 or $2 for a single deck box. That is just like a pack of playing cards. I remember saying that before about the other ones too. But it has the logo on the front and it has some texture. But still, I think it feels a little bit cheap, and the cards are not in here sealed. This is how it came in the package, but that is alright, okay? So let's move into some real cool Pokemon cards. We have the Rapid Strike Urshifu here, and this really reminds me of Battle Styles. I'm still collecting after 5 years. I'm still trying to complete my Battle Styles collection. We can go over that once more in the future. I've been going over that once in the past already, if you search on the channel Battle Styles collection or something. One of the worst sets, quote unquote, of the Sword Shield era. Also the first set with alternate arts of the Sword Shield era. And I think to the right people this is a really cool card. Okay, they are not Mews, they are not Pikachus, they are not even Arceus, they are not even Decidueyes, but they are still not too bad Urshifu. It is from the Sword and Shield DLC, I believe, so not even everybody that played the video game got to see this Pokemon. That's a little bit sad though. But now let's dive into some monetary value of this product, right? So the coin, I already suggested $3, maybe $4. I think the pin will also be $3, $4. Maybe it's even more at this point in time. And then we have the deck box, $1. So we already have, let's say, the lower side of the value, $3, $1, $3, $7. I consider one of these cards to be $3 to $4. So let's say $3 at this moment. I have to look it up. So then we're already at 13 euros here that I expect to get for this box so far. And I paid less than 10, but that is 2022, right? I don't know how these sealed boxes go for now. And you have to consider the effort that I put in everything, but yeah, okay, it's fine. And we move on to about $1 a piece, maybe $2 a piece for these Urshifu fees. So I'm afraid if I only see 3 Urshifu fees, we only get 2 Urshifu fee maxes. So what we're going to encounter now might be only bulk. So there are some starter Pokemon collectors out there that really would like to have these non-foil versions of the Sobble evolution line eventually. That is what it can be called. So we have an entire Sobble evolution line up here, 31 cents a card. Maybe the holographic ones or the non-foil ones that should be supposed to be holographic, maybe 50 cents a piece, so 150. But yeah, also considering these cards were really useful in the deck, and the trick was to get all your Sobbles on the bench, evolve them into Drizzles, which gives you the ability. You may search your deck for a trainer card, and then you could further evolve it in the next turn to one of these two. And the one is the quick shooting, there's 2 damage counters to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And you could stack this one up and you could use it every turn. So if you had 4 of these, you could do 80 damage on benched Pokemons, basically on any Pokemon. And with this one, what was it? You can search up to 2 trainer cards. So you could basically use Scoop Hypnet and evolve, and yeah, there were a lot of nice shady dealings. Moving into the Octillery, I think this is one that I least understood back in the day. Alright, maybe it was not even in the meta deck that was considered for the Masters Division. But I guess this Octillery served to get the Water Tower. I believe there's a Water Tower in here, or the Medicham, or any other Rapid Strike card that you want. But basically on the side you were fighting a stadium war, so you could get the Water Tower and put the other stadium out of play of the other person. And it gave you some good effects as well, so nice. We have $20, around $20 here. I think we have 1 to 2 more bucks up here. So let's call it for that sake now 22, 22.50. 23, because the Pokemon trainers are still very collectible when they have stamps on them. Someone purchased 3 bosses orders last time. Oh, we even have a Marnie and a Roxanne, so that's really good amount of Pokemon trainers in here, supporter cards. 24, 25, 26, 27, 27.50, right? So there are the watchtowers, the Tower of Water, excuse me, and we have the Scoop Up Nets. I remember these really well. This was really fun to play with. I used it in my Shadow Rider deck too. And I made a Clefairy deck, and that was insane. And I could do on the second turn already around 300 damage with a single Clefairy from Lost Origin, which was a little bit later, I think. But that was a gold video as well. I have it somewhere on the channel, delisted. But oh, and these are collectible too. Some people just collect all the Pokemon balls that are out there, the Pokemon ball cards. And then you don't even talk about the playability yet. There is a very high certainty, or there is a very high odds that this one once will be playable again. Now, given that these are promo, so these will never be standard tournament legal. But people like to use them in practice matches, or they want to just pimp their deck. Maybe they are sometimes even allowed in a little bit lower segments of the competition. But yeah, the quick ball as well. I thought these were really cool artworks for Pokeballs. Of course, you had the escape rope, very prominent in every deck basically. You had the heavy ball, the ordinary rod. Okay, so people used the super rod a lot, but I didn't know it was already used as the ordinary rod in there. The Pal Pad was very important. And then we have the single Ultra Ball that is still 50 cents or so as well. A couple of energies, I think these will move relatively quickly as well. So let's divide it up in 30-cent cards and 50-cent cards. So I think all this is 30-cent cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And you can make a case that this is also a regular holographic card normally, but now it's a non-foil version. A little bit more collectability compared to the other cards, but 13 times 3, it might be $4, right? And then we have 50 cents a card for the ball cards, 250. The Ultra Ball 50 cents, so $3 up here on ball cards. And you would be surprised, just put them online and check out how many people would be able to, are willing to buy them. And I do collect them as well. I can show it to you at the end of the video what I collected. But let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 times 30 cents, so 330 more. And these might move for 50 cents a piece, and especially later on I remember purchasing some energy cards from past World Championships decks for up to $4 a piece even, but those were from 2008 or before even. But I think 50 cents is not a strange price for such a card. To end up the video, and stay tuned if you want to see those signed stamped cards that I've collected, those tournament cards. $3. Then we have 3 more bucks, so 6. 2 more is 8. 3 more is 11. This is expected value. 3 more is like 14. A bunch of trainer Pokemon, and I have thrown in the Manaphy here as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. $5. About 18 bucks in bulk, which will move slowly but steadily. Plus 2, it might already be 20. I lost track. I took a little bit of a break between those two segments. Okay, so let's make it 20 for the entire stack here, including the Medicham. 22, 24, 26. $3 a piece here. 29, 32. $3 for this coin is 35. And then $3 for the pin is 38. And then you get $1 more for the deck box. It's 39. But let's make the estimated value at this point in time up to $40 to round it up there. So, okay, let me move everything out of the way first. Mission 1 is complete. We get more than $10 out of it, and I will be able to sell all these cards probably. I will keep you updated in order to fund my new Yokohama sealed team deck display, basically, of the World Championships 2023. Which I purchased for $160, double the price that I paid for the 2022 ones. So in this binder I have all those stamped cards, and I first wanted to show you this one, which is really cool. Signed by World Champion 2022 Andres Cabal. So this one is truly signed by Andres Cabal himself. It is very funny that the signature is truly looking like the ones on the stamped team deck ones. And he signed this one for me before the team deck ones were even released. I have video footage of that, and also the time of releasing of that video will say so. Because I didn't ask for any pictures, I need to have some proof. That's very important, that it was not just me drawing on the card. And I don't know how much it actually adds to the card, right? The signature of a world champion of the 2022 Masters Division of the TCG, the Pokemon TCG. To me it is priceless. I would not sell it. I purchased the card for $2 or so, and even though for $40 or $50 I'm not going to sell it. I have it in the collection already for a very long time now. So okay, let's stick with the theme of the stamped cards up here. So first you have these. None of these are won by me, but you have the first place Macargo reverse foil from the Sun and Moon era, really cool card. I had to purchase all those cards. Here you have the Dianta Champions League promo stamped, also a Sun and Moon reverse foil. And then you have two different castaways, and you can see they both have a different backside of the card as well. So this one is World Championships 2008 rather, not 2028, but 2008, 20 years ago. Or 18 years ago actually, but... Oh no, the castaway is the same player. And then you have one more same player with the Roseanne's Research here, really cool card. And let's turn this one over. So I now have a forward Cosmic Eclipse one of this one, the TV reporter. Really awesome card. This must have been a Japanese player, as you can see, of 2004. So that's relatively long time ago, more than 20 years at the moment. And then we have one of those energies up here that I really like. I paid up for this one, $4 or so, and it is near mint excellent. It is not even completely near mint, but also 2004. So yeah, 50 cents for a stamped card from a team deck that was less than $10 in total. It is not that crazy of a thought, folks. So, okay, thanks everybody for watching so much. And leave a like on the video if you like this kind of content. I put a lot of effort in it. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Have a great evening or day.